Hello everyone and welcome to 35mm, and today we have a special one. We have the three of us right here on set, and we're here today to do the breakdown. Why are both of you laughing?
He's mad. I was like,
Why are you laughing?
what's that about?
You would think we're not serious.
But you said we should keep it lighthearted.
But not in the introduction.
God have mercy.
We're here to do the breakdown of our recent film, The Last Piece. Let's start it off light. Israel, let's talk about the location we used for this shoot.
So for the location, we ended up using Akin's apartment. We just focused on one of the corners. We tried to like make it look very homely, you know, like a dinner set. You're just chilling with one of your guys.
I mean, we would have wanted to use like a nice proper dinner location, but again, no budget. We're keeping the budget low.
No. I don't agree.
Okay.
We're trying to relate so that you can create such from your own.
Actually, let's go with that narrative instead. Let's go with that narrative. By the way, if you've not watched the film, I think it will be good for you to watch the film and then come back and watch this breakdown, because it will give you a lot more.
Then watch the film again.
And then watch the film after, right? Gives you a lot more context. We have to shoot this 2 times over 2 days.
We used a black magic
Ursa
12K, and wanted to also use that for the entirety of the shoot. And we're trying to go for this slow push out situation on the pizza and then on the individual characters in the film. Well, it was not working. So hopefully you see that we brought in a makeshift dolly. And the makeshift dolly, they will drag us go where we don't want to go.
It was a makeshift dollar.
The dolly wasn't ideal.
I mean, yes, and just to give context to that, it was because the camera itself is big.
Yeah.
There is no stabilization. There is no autofocus.
Yeah.
We don't have a focus puller on set. We don't have a rig. Easy rig or anything to carry.
And we do not have the DJI
LiDAR Focus Pros setup. DJI, if you're watching this, see how 3 of us were. DJI, be cool. Send us this LiDAR system, right? So
the next day we decided to use like a gimbal. But since we could not put the 12K on it, we used the Canon R6 Mark II for the purpose of ease and to be able to push in and push out as we pleased.
We were blessed to have the DJI RS5, the combo. That actually came in clutch because it has the Intelli tracker where you can actually tell the gimbal what it needs to focus on, and you just focus on the shot you're taking. The gimbal
tracks the subject.
Every other thing you need to do. So it takes that burden off you, which was actually a great help for the shoot.
Yeah. In this particular case, it was really important that the subject or whatever it was tracking was dead set in the position. And because the R6 Mark II had autofocus, the lens was using autofocus, the gimbal was able to track it for us. So it just made it like, it went from Mission Impossible to like
Mission Possible.
Soon as Mission Possible, really literally, right? And we're able to get the shot like real quick, right? And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. However, let's break down lighting of each scene, right? I think this was something that we really played with in this video. So let's go scene to scene and then let's break it down. So the first scene.
So I think we had an overhead light. It had a grid on it so that we don't have light spilling around. We put light outside just to replicate moonlight, so that it just felt good. Like
and
the lights going depth through the curtains and stuff.
Yeah.
It also gave this gobo effect through the railings, the curtains, the walls. And there was one more light, a few lights, just to give a room tone, tungsten vibes and stuff like that.
Those new vibes. Okay, and yeah.
So the next scene was the top-down shot of the, like, revealing the last piece of the pizza. So relatively, we left the light almost the same. We just moved the lighting the grid that was lighting the both of us to his side and pointed it at an angle on the pizza. Forward
And sorry, the camera here moved from the 12K
to
on the tripod
to
to the
the
R6 Mark II on a system.
Then if you go forward a little bit after the blackout and then you see a spotlight on the pizza, this was carried out with the use of an optical snoot, and then we put a circular gobo inside. So it just made every other thing dark and gave us a spotlight on the last piece of the pizza.
Also, one more thing for the pizza scene was that it was supposed to be a match cut scene. It was supposed to go from this scene seamlessly to this scene.
Yeah.
Why did you add a blackout?
So just to add a little bit of drama, I felt it just made sense that it just went off. Why did it go off? And then this is the price
for this violence that's about to happen.
about to happen. So when we planned it, we thought it was going to go straight up. But I thought having that little bit of a pause just added more dramatic tension to the stuff in edit, and
And of course, the music changed here too.
Yeah.
It went from really happy and jolly and chill to...
I also feel like that was also one of the reasons why I did that. So it gave me a moment to change the music very seamlessly.
And this is actually how, music, lighting, all of these things helps you to tell the story, even without words, right?
Yeah.
And of course, action film starts, and then now we have Israel and I. And for this Israel scene, it was actually pretty interesting that we used 2 lights, I believe.
Yeah.
There was the first light was inside the gobo, inside the optical snoot as well. But this time around, we used that the gobo, the one that has just like a slash, right, across the face. And because the light we were using was a bicolor light, it was not RGB, so we added a red filter in front to get the red color. And then just to add some level of depth to the image, we decided to add a teal light. This light was I think the City Photo P160, so it's RGB.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to have any.
And at this moment, Akin was swinging, was playing with it.
Just swing ideas out.
Swing and out.
But it worked. The plan was not to have that light reveal.
We
just playing around, and I was like, wait, what if we do this? I was like, genius.
Eureka.
Genius. And then we had this light revealing moment. And I was like, we're keeping that. And then the second one was we were trying to go for a split lights setup, right? To add some drama and stuff. So it was just another P160, right? With color blue, literally off to my side this way. And nothing else on this side. And it was on a reflector cone, right? So it was harsh, blasting into my face. And then when we looked at the shot initially with nothing in the background, it was just dead in the background. So we added the red light at the background with
separation.
I think it was another P160 with red color.
Yeah.
Or just on the floor, just to lift up the shadows, and we were good to go, and that shot was there. And the sound design on this was really beautiful. We didn't capture any audio for this entire video.
Yeah.
So all of the mouth eating, all of the table, all of this was done all in post-production, right, by the amazing genius. Instead of cutting back and forth between Israel and I wanted to bring it in between with close-ups of the pizza, right?
For the close-up shots, we switched from the
35.
We used only prime lenses.
So this was a Tamron 90mm macro lens. So because it was a macro lens, we could
get close. The 85 could have done this, but the minimum focusing distance you wouldn't get as close as you'd want to get the shot we got with the 90. So
and in case you don't know what minimum focus distance is, please, what is that?
The minimum focus distance is the least amount of space you can have between the subject and the lens for it to be in focus.
Okay, fantastic. For macro lenses, they are macro lenses because they can literally be this close and they'll still be
fully in focus.
Yeah.
A food photographer's dream.
Right.
But okay, so that was what we used to capture this shot. But we had to manually focus the shot. The idea was to lock this in to a particular focus plane and then just pan across to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Your mind is wondering, what are you looking at? When you really look at it, then you can now realize that, okay, this actually
This is what your
the
pizza
last
looks like.
slice of the pizza. Yes.
Right, and we splice that in here and there, the juiciness, the details, the beauty of the pizza, right? And then after that, we went to the scene where Israel starts to thumb the ground. We're really having a lot of fun with lighting on this one, actually, right? It was like, what's the worst that could happen, right?
I mean, yeah, in the
let's just
moment to fight. Put them in the multiverse, innit?
right, actually, right, we were in different, because also another thing we're doing with the lighting was that we're trying to create, like, just like you said, the multiverse, because it went from warm homey dining sets to right, it became a war zone. And typically in war zones you don't really see too much pretty clean smooth lighting. It's always like hard colors, there's always like a lot of shadows. As I went from warm and calm to like all of these colors, we're creating like different universes and kind of like matching that with the music as well to raise the tension and be in the moment, right? And then of course we went to this shot with Israel.
Yeah, so I feel this was just same thing with the optical snoots. We didn't want to move from there. And we put a gobo in it, as you can see, with the details on his hands. We're not trying to make it real. We're just trying to make it fun and weird, I guess.
Right.
So that was the point.
All right. For the scene that followed this on my side,
Yeah, saying I followed this, we just had a little bit of red, but then you can see we left tungsten, went to something white.
so the color temperature of the light here was a lot cooler.
It was actually an effect on one of the.
Yeah,
one of the
we
lighting.
used one of the effects, the strobe kind of
I
effect.
think it was 40 bulb. Yeah,
Yes.
this was 40 bulb.
40 bulb effect on the Photo P160. Actually, yeah. Like we were thinking we wanted to do an effect. I think the initial idea was to do an effect where light would go like this and like this.
Yeah.
And then Israel was just like messing with the settings of the light and we're like, oh, hold up,
Let's use these.
hold up. And then we just dialed in the frequency and
Yeah,
it was,
so
I know, right?
Then here is when we started the climax, right? Where everybody's like, okay, who's gonna get a pizza? Who's gonna get a pizza? And then we said, okay, we'll do a close-up shot of a hand picking the pizza, right? In the moment, nobody will know who's picking the pizza, right? And then we would cut to both of us,
Yeah.
right? Expressing shock. Because now, at this point, nobody still knows who picked up the pizza, right? And then, yeah, this was where we really benefited from the use of those gimbals. We basically just locked in the focus on the pizza,
Yeah.
and Timothy just did like a
Gen 2.
dolly out,
Yeah.
and everything was as it should be.
So normally if you pull out with the gimbal, you're supposed to still see more of the background and stuff. But in post, while the gimbal was going out, I was zooming in so that I can keep the focus on his face and add something interesting to the background.
And this effect is called the vertigo effect,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so basically, in the shot with Akin in it, it's not as visible as in the shot with Israel in it, because with Israel in it, there was a lot more stuff in the background if you look closely, and then you can see that his face is a bit in the center, but things are expanding and moving, but him, it seems like he's not moving. So that was
the same size
it's the
from
same,
the
yeah. So that was the effect we're going for. Well, I think typically if we're going to do this again, we would have to make sure that there's a lot more stuff going on in the background so that we can see the effects. But if you look closely at Atkins, you can see it's like the window moves, it gets bigger and his head is the same size.
Typically, how you will do this, if you had like a much bigger budget, is you actually have like a dolly track.
Yeah.
You can like dolly out, and then while your focus was on somebody is zooming in, and the more distance you have to cover, the more you can actually compress or expand the background, while your subject remains the exact same size from the beginning to the end of the frame. So it's like it kind of tricks your eye where the subject is remaining the same size, but the background is like doing this, right? And just like you said, if we're going to do this again, we'll make sure we have a ton more stuff, and we'll probably have a lot more distance, right? We did it the DIY way, right?
Yeah.
Zoom in post-production, do the dolly out on camera, and then we'll do that in post. But how do you like this, Israel? Talk to us.
The first shot we see here is Akin's shot. and this was done top down with an
grid.
octabox with a grid to illuminate his face. Because his hair is black and everything in the background was black, he was just blending in and we couldn't like see where he ends and where the background was. So we decided to put another light outside and let it just shine in and make that teal a little bit.
Kind of like moonlight
just
kind of thing.
moonlight. And yeah, we still DIY this because we had to hold light. and for mine, because I don't have as much hair as Akin does,
As much as you have not.
I'm sticking with my story.
I
I
was
don't
like,
have
no,
as
I'm
much
going,
hair as Akin does.
Can't prove it. It has a cap on it.
Don't worry. there's a reason
We'll just
that
take his
we
word
don't-
for it.
You can actually see where my face ends, but we still had a little bit of teal to my left, and
It's coming through the windows
through the
and the
windows
blinds.
and a bit of that light hits the background, so my background is not pitch black, so you can I'm actually still separated from
Yeah.
the background. So it's actually the same key light that was lighting Akin, that was lighting me. The only difference was the lights in
background
the
lights.
background.
Also, to break down the shots, all the moving shots where there was movement in the background of the face, all of those were shot on the gimbal, and that's the DJI RS5, right? Like Israel mentioned, with the Canon R6 Mark II with 35mm Canon Prime lens, right? But all the static shots were all shot on the 12K. However, this last shot looks like it was moving, but we cheated a little bit, right? We shot this entirely on a tripod with a Blackmagic Ursa 12K. And what Timothy just did in post was
He first zoomed in. He went
I cropped
Then
it.
then he zoomed out.
and then I zoomed out.
Yes.
It's like going from like the hand, the shock, and then the person. And now you can see that the lighting has come back to home. And the way we shot this was we shot the first scene and the last scene first to give a consistent look before we shot all the other scenes in the middle again.
And that was also to prevent us from tearing down that setup and setting it up again.
Yeah, so it was good for production time. It was good for consistency to save us time and all of those things. Because if you shoot it the way each scene progresses, you have to tear down and set up, and you might have multiple similar scenes. But your director has been able to do the short list, and he knows this should go first, and then you can do all that together. And there was an Easter egg at the very end of the video. I'm sure a lot of people missed it, right? But if you've not watched it, go back and watch it. Make sure that when that last slide, when it goes to black and it shows the last slide, keep paying attention. There was an Easter egg there, right? And if you've watched that, you didn't see the Easter egg, go back and watch it. He added it. So, hold you responsible.
It was his idea.
But he added it.
But it was your idea.
So, in case anybody wants to sue anybody, just... Also, yes, one last thing, please talk about the aspect ratio.
So the aspect ratio we used was a 4:3. I mean, we're not trying to do what was normal. As you can see, the video does not feel normal. Like the lighting is not normal. So we wanted to use an aspect ratio that was not normal as well. So that's what we ended up going with.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we just went to just turn everything upside down, and
The way you have done this up.
just wanted to turn everything upside down and move on with our lives, man, and see how everything goes.
Yeah, it was fun, and we plan to experiment with more stuff like this, short films, think pieces, all of this kind of stuff. And yeah, this was really a fun project. I look forward to doing more pieces like this. Doesn't have to make sense, but we just love to do it. And till we come your way next time, stay creative.
Adios.
Stay creative.